If you've been in the market to buy or sell real estate, or maybe you're just watching and paying attention to different news headlines, you may think that the real estate ship is sinking or it's already sunk. And while there's some validity and credibility to some of those statements, we don't see that really happening here in the Chicago real estate market. We do see a very sluggish real estate market, but for many reasons, we do not think a crash is anywhere near. So today we're gonna break down the Chicago real estate market update, summer of 2023. Now that we're halfway through 2023, I just wanna dive into some of the data so that you can see exactly what's happening so that you can correlate this to your own decisions as it pertains to your real estate goals. So we're gonna jump on in right now. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jordan Pyle and I'm your go-to Chicago real estate agent. My team and I have been servicing the great city of Chicago for the last 10 years. So if you're moving to Chicago, or maybe you're just moving around in Chicago and you're thinking about buying or selling a home in 9 days, 90 days, or maybe even 2 years out, well, feel free to text the number on the screen and a team member or myself will get in touch with you within 24 hours to talk more about your real estate goals and how we can help you solve them. So if this has been helpful, please do us a favor, comment down below, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and be sure to turn on notifications so that you can be the first to know about all things Chicago real estate and moving to and living in Chicago. All right, starting up, I just want to kind of set the tone and talk about interest rates. Interest rates have been the buzzword in the news, in the media. Everyone's concerned about them. There's so many different headlines going out about interest rates. So let me just tell you, as of the date of this recording, which is July 25th, 2023, here is the stats and the data regarding current interest rates, and this is supported by Mortgage News Daily. All right, so I got my computer out here and I have some notes regarding the data just because I can't remember all these numbers. So we're gonna run through and we're gonna talk first the 30-year fixed mortgage rate. As of today, July 25th, 2023, is at 6.99%, so just under 7%. This is actually down from the last couple of weeks, but they've been hovering right in that high sixes, 6 3/4 to about 7 1/4 over the last month or two. Your 30-year FHA is coming in slightly lower at 6.59%. Your 30-year jumbo loan is at 6.99, so really no difference between that and your 30-year fixed. Your 5-year ARM is at 6.95%. Again, very little difference. And then your 30-year VA is coming in at 6.62%. All right, so now that we talked about interest rates, everyone at this point has kind of realized, okay, they're gonna be slightly higher. We're not gonna see the 3s, we're not gonna see the 4s. Maybe in a year or two, we'll see somewhere in the 5s, but for the time being, they're gonna be 6.5, maybe to 7 1/4, and people are starting to get comfortable making buying and selling decisions based on where they are currently. All right, so now that we've talked about interest rates, let's get into specific Chicago data as it pertains to the real estate market. And as a disclaimer, I am basically operating on the north side of the market. So this is from the South Loop to the Loop to River North, all the way up basically to like Evanston. And then we're gonna go as far west as Humboldt Park on the west side. And then as you kind of follow the blue line up, we're gonna include neighborhoods such as Logan Square, Hermosa, and some of those surrounding areas. So this is not all of Cook County, this is not all of Chicagoland. This is largely the north and like the near west sides of Chicago. So the data that I'm getting ready to read has been taken from those specific neighborhoods so that you can use that information at your disposal so that you can make decisions based on it. So first one that you may want to know, average sales price. Average sales price is actually down 2.1% in the markets that I mentioned. Just a few weeks ago though, I ran this for basically the whole city of Chicago, and the city of Chicago was up, I believe, 2.8% overall. So it's a pretty flat line, and this is at $551,545, so just above $550,000 is your average sales price here in Chicago. Now we're gonna get into homes for sale. So we are actually at 3,443 homes for sale, which is down 26.8% this time last year. So this is one of the main stats that I think, and the rest of these stats are gonna kind of support this one alone, but this is the main thing. This is the main bottleneck, the main constraint in the market is we just do not have enough homes for sale to satisfy the demand. Even with supply chain things opening up, we're starting to see new development, we're starting to see new homes come to market, more builders getting confidence, starting to build again, and those buyers not necessarily be shell-shocked by interest rates and starting to make these buying decisions. Overall though, we're still just lagging in terms of the amount of demand versus the amount of homes for sale, and there's just not enough, which is leading to some of these other stats that I'm gonna get into. All right, so now that we talked about homes for sale, we're gonna do another stat that kind of supports and shows the same thing as homes for sale being down about 30% at 26.8%. We also have new listings down 29.9% 8.4% from this time last year. And this is actually the lowest amount of new listings and homes for sale since 2012. So we have an inventory issue, right? And this is going to continue, which is why even though interest rates have been higher, this is why we are seeing sales prices hold up. And like we just talked about at the very beginning here, they're only down 2.1%. And of course, there's other markets around the country, some of the ones that saw a crazy appreciation, they're experiencing a lot more depreciation now that we're in a different phase of the market. But here in Chicago, being a very insulated market, we went up a few percent, probably 10-15% over the last 3 years, and now we are down about 2% year over year. So nothing significant, but we do have a little bit less than we were last year. So the next thing I like to look at is average market time. So the average market time is down 9.6% to 66 days. And then we'll also talk about months supply of inventory, which are somewhat of the same, a little bit different, but month supply is down 7.1% to 2.6 months of inventory. So what do both of those mean? Average market time, this is the amount of time it takes once a home is listed on the market, the amount of time it takes for that to go under contract. And this is at 66 days right now, which is down 9.6%. So basically they're saying that homes are selling faster this year than they were last year. And a lot of that is probably because, again, buyer demand is outpacing inventory. Month supply of inventory is basically, the way I like to explain this is like if you were to cut off all new supply of inventory for 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms in Lincoln Park, Chicago, and you cut that supply off today, how long would it take for all the current homes that are on the market to be absorbed? And right now we're at 2.6 months, which is down 7.1% from a year ago. So this is basically saying that inventory is selling quicker, and so the homes that are in the market are being absorbed by the buyer demand faster. All right, and then the final indicator that I like to look at is the number of closed homes. So closed sales are down 32.2% to 13,473 total closed sales. And just to give you perspective, as I talked about this being the lowest amount since 2012, usually we range between 14,000 and 17,000, and we are at 13,473. So number of sales are down, there's less new inventory, there's less overall transactions happening in the marketplace. However, the transactions that are happening, as you'll see on this next stat, they're basically supporting current sales prices, not seeing a slight increase, and in some markets seeing a slight decrease. And so what I want to say to that is 40.9% of homes sold above list price. So if a home is coming to the market, 40.9% of the time that home is going above asking price, and usually with multiple offers because, again, buyer demand is outpacing the inventory in new homes. So with 40.9% of home sales selling above list price, you do have 16.1% of the market of homes that are coming to the market where they experience a price drop before they ultimately go under contract. All right, so now that we've talked about interest rates, we've talked about average sales price, we talked about homes for sale, number of new listings, average market time, month supply of inventory, and closed sales, as well as some data supporting new listings coming to the market, how high above listing price they're selling, as well as how many of those homes are experiencing a price drop. So now that we've covered our basis there, I just want to kind of throw this out because a lot of you are moving from outside of Chicago and you're coming into Chicago for various different reasons. So I pulled up some Chicago migration and relocation trends to share with you. So I'm going to read this to you just so you can get the specific data. So in April 2023 to June of 2023, 17% of Chicago homebuyers searched to move out of Chicago, while 83% look to stay within the metropolitan area. So where are people moving to Chicago from? Across the nation, 4% of homebuyers search to move into Chicago from outside metros. And if you had to guess the number one place that people are coming to Chicago from, I don't know what you'd guess, but the proof is in the pudding. Denver homebuyers search to move to Chicago more than any other metro, followed by Rockford, Illinois, and Peoria, Illinois. So from outside of Illinois, people are coming from Denver, as well as places like New York, some people coming from Boston, and a lot of the other people coming into Chicago are from the surrounding areas outside the large metropolitan. Now, we do have to talk about those 17% of Chicago homebuyers that are thinking about moving out of Chicago. So where are people moving from Chicago and where are they moving to? Well, 83% of Chicago homebuyers search to stay within Chicago. However, if people are looking to move out of Chicago, Cape Coral was the most popular destination among Chicago home buyers, followed by Miami and Milwaukee. So two of those being in Florida, which makes complete sense to me. So now we're gonna look at this little chart here, and this is gonna be on the screen and I'll show you, but this basically ranks inbound flow and outbound flow numbers 1 through 10. So you can check this out so you can see where are people coming from into Chicago. Maybe you're one of those people, and if you are, feel free to reach out at the number on the screen. A team member and myself will get in touch with you within 24 hours, talk more about your real estate goals and how we can support you make those goals a reality. And then on the other side, we have outbound. So if you're thinking about selling a home here in Chicago, my team and I also specialize in helping people sell. It's actually what I focus on the team. And I now have team members that kind of help on a lot of the buy side stuff. However, if you're wanting to buy or sell or invest in a Chicago real estate property, well, feel free to reach out to our team. We'd be honored to help. All right, so now that we talked data, let me just give you a general analysis, kind of where we stand here. So if you're a buyer in the Chicago real estate market, whether you're in Chicago already or moving to Chicago, so here are a couple things. Be prepared, right? Get pre-approved ahead of time. With higher interest rates, know where your budget is. Know where that comfortable monthly budget is so that we can work backwards and we can kind of build some parameters around your search. The other part of that is make sure you meet with your real estate agent ahead of time. Don't skip steps in the process just to get antsy and start going out and looking at homes. Make sure you fully understand your financial side of the deal with whoever your realtor's lending partner is. Have a good relationship with them, ask the right questions, and then once we have that budget and you start working with your realtor, make sure you know what the current state of showings looks like, how competitive is the market, how do you put together an offer that is gonna be competitive and is gonna win out in a multiple offer situation. So really take that time up front to get crystal clear in what you're looking for, because in today's market, you have to move fast in order to get a home. And if you don't, there's gonna be other people that move faster and ultimately they're going to beat you out just because there's not a lot of homes for sale. All right, so that's if you're a buyer. Just do your diligence, take a little bit of extra time because it could take you longer to find the right house just because a lot of the inventory is picked over and we may be waiting for new inventory to come to the market, and hopefully we see that. Now, if you're a seller, it's an incredible time to sell. With buyer demand through the roof still, even with high interest rates and very little competition in terms of people wanting to give up their low interest rates and come to the market as a seller, because it is a double-edged sword, right? If you have a sub 3% interest rate and you need to sell and you're gonna also be buying, well, you're buying in a high interest rate environment, buying in a high sales price environment, but the people that are coming to the market, there is typically motivation there. And if you're a seller, you're trying to maximize value, I think right now is a great time to list your property to potentially get more than asking price. Because remember the stat from before, 40.3% of all new listings are going above and beyond asking price. So that's all I got for today. I hope this information has been valuable. This is your mid-summer July of 2023 Chicago real estate market report. If you have any questions whatsoever, if I didn't cover anything in enough detail, put your comments down below. I'm happy to answer those or do future videos. If you have any questions about moving to Chicago, living in Chicago, or help with your real estate search, hit the number on the screen. My team and I will get in touch with you within 24 hours and help you in your real estate goals. So without further ado, we'll catch you on the next video. All right, peace.